This time, the topic is related to China, but it's even more about the European automotive industry, which is currently facing what could be described as a hellscape. Europe has been strongly pushing for electric vehicles, EVs, under the so-called EV shift. While it appears to be an environmentally friendly initiative at first glance, when observed closely, it's clear that this is part of a new global dominance strategy disguised as environmental protection. When you look at EVs individually, they don't emit exhaust gases, but questions arise about how the electricity is generated, how batteries are manufactured, and how to handle old batteries or car bodies. When you consider all these factors holistically, EVs aren't necessarily eco-friendly. It's been said for a long time that the primary goal of this strategy is to quickly develop EVs and gain an advantage in this field. However, Europe underestimated one thing: EVs are a new product category, meaning they couldn't leverage their existing accumulated expertise. This allowed Chinese companies to enter the race. While they couldn't compete with gasoline cars, they could with EVs. This led to a rapid supply of inexpensive EVs from China, far faster than Europe anticipated. As a result, the European automotive industry is in a dire situation. European automakers thought they could dominate the global EV market, but instead, Chinese vehicles are flooding Europe, putting European automakers under intense pressure. The reason is simple: price. Europeans might think their cars are of higher quality, but Chinese cars are overwhelmingly cheaper. To address this, the EU decided to impose significant tariffs on Chinese EVs this year, claiming that China is engaging in unfair trade practices by offering government subsidies to lower prices. However, this move isn't necessarily helping European automakers. For instance, major German manufacturers like Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz asked the German government to stop imposing tariffs on Chinese EVs. Why? Because German automakers are heavily dependent on China. Up until recently, 1/3 of the total global sales of German automakers came from the Chinese market. Tariffs on Chinese EVs could provoke retaliatory measures from China, negatively impacting German automakers. While the EU's official stance is to counteract unfair subsidies from China, the underlying motive is to protect its own industries. Still, this could lead to Chinese retaliation, such as imposing tariffs on EU imports like luxury goods, pork, and cars, which would severely harm German automakers reliant on the Chinese market. Meanwhile, Chinese manufacturers are shifting focus from EVs to hybrids, especially plug-in hybrids, to avoid these tariffs. Unlike EVs, hybrids are not subject to the EU's new tariffs, allowing Chinese automakers to sidestep restrictions and maintain their competitiveness in Europe. Recent data shows that hybrid sales have doubled in Europe, with hybrids now accounting for over 33% of total car sales in October, even surpassing gasoline cars. Chinese automakers are already making significant inroads into this market, leveraging their price advantage. Chinese hybrids are roughly 500,000 yen cheaper than their European or Japanese counterparts, making them highly attractive to European consumers. Additionally, BYD, a major Chinese automaker, plans to open a factory in Hungary by 2026 to produce both EVs and plug-in hybrids, potentially bypassing tariffs altogether. This could further threaten European automakers, who would then have to rely solely on brand strength to compete. Europe's original misstep lies in its over-reliance on political measures rather than technological superiority. By pushing EVs politically, the EU disrupted the competitive advantage built through decades of expertise in gasoline vehicle technology. Gasoline vehicles, which had become far less polluting, were abandoned in favor of EVs that, in many cases, are not truly eco-friendly. Moving forward, the battle between European and Chinese automakers will intensify. While Chinese cars are less visible in Japan, this could change as more Chinese nationals settle in the country and begin purchasing Chinese vehicles like BYD. If anyone notices Chinese cars in their region, please share your observations in the comments section. Understanding regional trends will help us analyze the market better. That's all for today's discussion. See you in the next video.